Hello, everyone. Welcome to MUA Live. Today we have Transforming Burnout into High Performance with our special guest, Bella. And I will do a brief intro of MUA Live, and then I'll introduce our special guests and we'll get into the juicy topic. So, MUA is short for Me, Us, All, and is on a mission to help businesses stay competitive in an evolving landscape. And here at MUA, we recognize that the key to this success lies in the people, the company's workforce. And so we're both a performance building company and a team of industry experts that use software plus coaching to improve overall job performance of employees across businesses of any size. And so here today we have MUA Live, which are events to accelerate team performance, company culture, and improve employee well-being. And now to let you know a little bit more about our special guest, Bella is a former professional tennis player who holds certifications in personal training, nutrition, positive psychology, food and health, and Reiki from ISSA, the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, Stanford University, and Master Pao Strickland, respectively. Her insights will help you live a better quality of life and improve your work performance. And so today, Bella is going to lead us through an interactive discussion on the power of the mind, the body, and the soul, breaking down what each one of those aspects are. It'll be interactive, and she'll guide us through when she's going to be talking and then when to ask questions. So I will go ahead and turn it over to you, Bella, and we are excited to have you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for introducing me, Lindsay. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here and representing you guys today. So again, you did an amazing job at talking a little bit about myself. Now it's time for me to develop you guys and to pour into your cup today, as we all need a little bit more of that. Allowing ourselves to receive the gifts of others is powerful. So anyways, one of the things that I work through is self-mastery, the ability to tap more into our own physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual selves. Many of us, we have been living in a distracted world. We all know technology is here, social media, distractions, and a lot of times it's just a matter of setting boundaries. So whenever we think about our mental space, we have a beautiful brain that a lot of times is untapped, meaning that we are just going through the motions of the day, living in our subconscious patterns, things that we had conditioned ourselves to be. In a lot of those things have been leading us to not so positive outcomes, or it could be positive outcomes, but it could always be improved. So whenever we think about optimization of our mind, it means that we have to be able to discipline our thoughts. That's the first thing. So disciplining our thoughts is to understand that only 5% are conscious thoughts. 95% is everything in the subconscious that we have been just holding it on, maybe because we have not have that level of self-awareness yet, but maybe it's just because we want to develop in that side and we just don't know how to explore it yet. So whenever we are able to say, okay, well, I have this conditioning, or there's this trigger about this specific situation in my life, how can I tap more into it and uncover the whys, the reasons behind I'm not activating my critical thinking in this specific area? Maybe it's a limiting belief that we have been conditioned. Maybe it is a money mindset, right? Sometimes we constrain ourselves financially, or maybe it's a relationship situation where we are saying, oh, I'm not going to find a person for me, or maybe it's opportunity in a career path. Maybe it's just a healthy habit that we're trying to change for so often and so many years, but yet we have yet to uncover how can we actually tap into that. So whenever we're able to liberate the thoughts, liberate the mindset, that means that we are generating conscious thoughts, that we are disciplining our mind to shift, to transform, to change the narrative behind a specific subject. And the more we change those thoughts, the more we change the behaviors behind those thoughts, which optimally is going to change the habit over time. And changing that habit is going to create a different identity behind that thought, right? And it's extremely, extremely powerful when we tap into that, because then now we're living an abundant mindset. We're living our, let's quote unquote, say higher self, right? We're living in a space of expansion, of transformation, of evolution. And that's the power of the mind. We are going to attract our thoughts. There's something called epigenetics that says that a lot of times it's not necessarily imprinted in us, even though we have heritage in our DNA, we can shift that, right? There's studies being shown over and over again now that we have the capability of changing our own entire existence, our patterns, things that we have been acquiring along our lives. And that's how we're going to evolve and change generations to come, only with the power of our thoughts. So that's the mental space. Let's jump into the body side, which is extremely important as well. We also have so much information stored in the body itself that we have not been explored. There's 3 different areas of the body that we have to explore deeply, which is moving our body correctly, which is nourishing our body correctly, and which is resting our body, right? Like resting, giving ourselves the ability to sleep the necessary hours that we need in order to recover our body from the day. Sleep is extremely important. Our mind is also recovered throughout the sleep time, right? And it's really, really powerful. But if we want to tap into the nutrition side of things, we call it our second brain or first brain. It's our gut, right? And the microbiome, the importance of tapping into the ability of receiving the food, and the more natural the foods are in our bodies, the less chemically modified the food is, the best absorption, right? And even in today's societies, unfortunately, our soil and the nutrition that is being provided, even from fruits and vegetables, have been diminished in the terms of the content of the nutrition. The nutrition of one apple 10, 50 years ago was different than the one that it is now, just because of the conditions that we have been unfortunately giving to this earth. So just on that, just knowing that we are already limiting, and that's why there's so much supplementation and like vitamins and all this extra stuff that we have to be eating now, is literally because of that, right? And also our bad habits of maybe just incorporating a lot of like chemically modified foods in our diet, never shopping by the fresh produce first. We always go to the, packed items, or we want to go to the quick fixes of life. But if you tap into the natural eating, automatically you're going to reduce inflammation in the body. Is really, really powerful. I encourage everybody to eat as fresh as possible every single day. Moving forward to the movement, right? So we also have stored in our bodies a lot of the trapped emotions, and like just by moving, you are releasing, right? Even the power of your breath, you're releasing. So every time you exercise, every time you wake up, if you just go through a little stretching motion, breathing exercises, just closing your eyes, just doing a little bit of exercises here and there, you are going to see such a deep impact in how you perform, in how you elevate your energy every single day, right? It could be 10, 20 minutes. It could be, a few jumping jacks, squats, push-ups. You don't need to overcomplicate yourself, but just do some sort of movement. So when it comes to your body, simple things that you can do: eat fresher foods, drink more water, move your body just for a little bit. It doesn't need to be complicated, and sleep better. I know it's so simple, but just thinking that way and knowing the psychology behind why optimizing your body is literally going to give you the levels of energy you want, the vitality that you want, the longevity that you want, right? And it's beyond the physical appearance, right? If we tap into that, it's already changing, because now we are coming from a place of love and care for our bodies, rather than egocentric mentality where, oh, I need to lose weight here because that's how I look and so forth. No, I want to take care of myself because I know the impact is going to generate in my performance, in my daily happiness, in my optimal results, right? And I want to be a machine. I want to be this capable person to wake up happier every day. And a lot has to do with how we treat our bodies. So definitely tapping into that is huge. When it comes to our emotional intelligence, it's something that a lot of times is taken for granted. Unfortunately, in society, we do have a lot of men, especially, that have never been tapped into their emotions. They have never been encouraged to tap into their emotions. However, we all have emotions, right? It's being taught more and more over time, but it's an area of improvement for everybody. But most importantly, for even some women that have been not encouraged to regulate their emotions. There's ways to regulate and manage our emotions better, where we are optimizing through resilience and through positive psychology. Positive psychology is nothing more than shifting the perspective that we create about an experience through that emotion. So we can have exactly the same experience, but we can have a different emotional reaction to the experience. And then, therefore, we associate the emotion with the entire experience itself. And sometimes it's not a realistic approach, right? Especially in business, for women to be emotional is not going to happen. It's not going to help. We have to be more conscious about our decisions, connecting our minds, connecting our hearts, and making the best optimal result. Because a lot of times the reactions that we have through emotions are not going to lead to the best results over time if they are coming from a negative space. So utilizing the positive emotions that come in and out of you, right? So if you have so much love, if you have so much compassion, empathy, understanding, ability to hear, and use your soft skills to be a leader, you're going to be better. Why? Because you're going to be able to understand that not everybody is the same. We are all different human beings. We all have our own limitations, and we're all able to see from an entire entity, an entire perspective, coming from a place of, again, emotional intelligence, right? Understanding our capabilities on that side. So when I personally tap into resilience and building resilience, because let's just face it, to the reality that our perspectives, our experiences, and our outcomes of life are not necessarily going to be always exactly how we want, because there's external things that happen that are out of our control. A lot of times we have to tap into ourselves and understand the emotions that are being caused there. And that's why tapping into your mental space is very important in that sense, because you are able to control those thoughts. You're able to create a different reaction. So if you think, you can feel, and you can act accordingly to the outcome that you want to project into your life. And that is why emotional regulation is so important, because you're able to step out, see the perspective of what you want to accomplish with that situation that just happened, or whatever that is, and make a better conclusion and communicate effectively according to that, what is needed. Especially you guys coaching for companies, right? Communication is so important. It's so big. And a lot of times the lack of communication, maybe because of fear, maybe because of intimidation, fear of rejection, let's say, a lot of times is intimidating people to actually voice themselves. But it's all about emotional regulation and understanding how to better communicate, how to address that situation better. And we all have that within ourselves. We just have to tap a little bit extra every single day, being able to express those emotions. So again, if you think your mental space, first thing, change your thoughts, discipline your thoughts. Every time you grasp a thought that is wanting to be changed, or if you have too many tabs open in your mind, it's time to close those loops. Trying to find solutions rather than problems. Trying to overcome those barriers and those limitations by reframing that idea that you had, creating the ability to tap into your critical thinking. So that way you can create more clarity, more discipline, more consistency, and over time, more confidence about who you are and the identity that you're building. Body, rest, move your body, and make sure you're nourishing with the right nutrients, right? Like nutritious, dense foods, but also more natural foods that are going to reduce inflammation in the body and able to help you absorb what you actually need rather than what you want. And on emotional state is to regulate your emotions and being able to tap into yourself in a conscious space. Step back, you're analyzing the emotions, you're using empathy, compassion, love, all those positive emotions to make a better, realistic idea of what's coming next, but understand yourself and being able to create that resilience, overcoming negative emotions with positive emotions, and overcoming through metabolizing that emotion, not neglecting it, which a lot of times we tend to do. So not neglecting the emotions, but understanding the emotions and tapping into a better version of yourselves. So that's what I had to talk more. Now, of course, there's so much information, and Sometimes I tend to speak fast. So I want to open space here for us to all discuss this. So who here first, on your mental space, you feel like there's maybe a limiting belief, a self-sabotage, like something that you want to break through, that you would like to share here so we can maybe address it. I know that requires a little bit of vulnerability, but I feel like that's how we grow. So anybody in this space.
Yep. And you guys can put your comment or question in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and speak out loud, ask your question, say what limiting belief you're working on. Just give a little bit of time for that. And if no one wants to chime in now, I definitely have one. So Anna says,
okay.
I have difficulties balancing my diet and eating healthy. How can I manage doing that without major effort?
Simplifying your life, Anna, it's one of the biggest things that for me help. Again, we create in our mind situations that are not necessarily true based on previous experiences or things that we hear around us, right? So when people say healthy, you automatically freeze and say, "Oh, it's a diet. It's something complicated. It's something." So how to help with prioritization? Great. So let's go over that after that. So changing habits has to start with the willingness, right? The willingness, the desire, the why behind it, not necessarily the external relationship that you have built around it. So I'm gonna give an example of myself. So if I believe that I'm not capable to be a millionaire, like I was never a millionaire, I don't know that many women around me that were millionaires, right? So therefore, I can limit myself to say I'm never going to be a millionaire because that's not existence. But I can create that reality for myself. So let's say if a person that struggles with healthy habits, if you have not had an example of somebody that shifted that the mechanism in their head, how can you automatically say, you know what, I'm changing those thoughts, I'm changing the paradigm that I have been living for so many years, I'm able to tap into myself, I'm willing to explore the capabilities that I have within myself and within my body to change the perspective that I have around it, not by the fitness, again, not by just the physical appearance, but hey, I want to feel my best. So how can I prioritize? How can I save 1 hour of my day maybe to just devote to stretching, exercising, preparing my meals? You know, it's so simple, but we complicate because again, it's something that we have not yet probably achieved yet in our life. So if you want, Anna, to have any conversations outside of here with me, I'd love to further discuss. It's something that I'm truly passionate about. I shifted my diet about 3 years ago, and I have never felt happier because your gut health is 95%, your serotonin is produced there. So just by changing that alone, you actually helping yourself to feel happier, and to feel happier is everything, right? So thank you so much. I want to help you with prioritization is saying no to the things that don't matter to you, or they're not necessarily the intentionality that you want to put behind your actions. So when I started to say no, I felt a little guilty. We all feel a little bit guilty, right? We want to say yes to everything, and we are not able to have that level of clarity of what is really more important in our lives at a specific time. So sitting down with your thoughts and say, what are the yeses in my life? What are the maybes? And what are the nos? And if your list has a lot of the no's yet being filled, right? Sometimes we want to say no, but we say yes because maybe we want to people please, maybe we want to, whatever that is. Prioritizing your actual, your health is number one, right? So 1 hour a day, put on your calendar, make it a non-negotiable, make it your time with yourself. And you're going to see how you shift your perspective, your entire lifestyle. It's beautiful. And again, if you want more information about that, I would love to discuss further. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Lindsay, you want to share yours?
Oh, no, I'm okay. I just wanted to share if there weren't any comments, but I'm happy to hear your next topic.
Perfect. All right. So tapping into the body, a lot of times we do have limiting beliefs related to the body, and I'm glad that Anna tapped into that already. But there's a specific part of the body that we have to address more often, which is the intelligence of the cells of the body, right? So a lot of times, I want to ask this question because it's an important one. So who here had already achieved, their, let's say, optimal physical result, and for some reason kind of, went through a yo-yo diet? And who here, if you had gone through a yo-yo diet, say yes. Or if you have never achieved the optimal health, say yes. Or if you are already in your optimal health, but you feel like there's always areas of improvement. So there's three different ways, right? So there's the people that go full force health and then go down, because there's the idea behind it, to where you always feel like it's a diet. You always feel like it's something that you have to start and come back and start and come back. There's another type that is, oh, I reach it, but now I don't care anymore, right? I reach it, it's fun, but I never want to go there because it was hurtful to do that. And there's also those that have always tried, but they have never had an example to follow to actually achieve the optimal health. So in those three levels, there's always areas where we can tap more into. I personally was the perfect yo-yo diet, right? So that yo-yo diet really led me to actually develop eating disorders, right? Eating disorders, because in the end of the day, I got super skinny and I was feeling great with my body, and my fitness level was awesome. And then I'll gain a lot of weight right there, and I felt awful with my body, but I didn't have a good relationship with my body. I was always in self-judgment. And that self-judgment mentality can also trap us, because it tricks us to believe that how we're happy is when we are lean. But in reality, today, I feel like I probably gained a few pounds, but I'm the happiest I ever had. Why? Because I developed a sustainable lifestyle where my health is my priority. My health is number one. So anything that I have to do to be healthier, I will. And I love how that relationship is so much healthier and better for the long run results. So I want to help you guys develop that. Anybody wants to share anything about that, or how I can help? No, that's an interesting one. It's a touchy subject for a lot of us, our body health. Lindsay, how do you feel about that one?
Yeah, I really agree with you in that if you prioritize health itself, then you feel thriving, and it's healthy is different than skinny or different than a certain image. So I feel I too did that journey. Like when I was young, I used to try to make fitness goals for everything and be the best of whatever sport I was. But then I'm like, how do you actually feel? And on the inside as well, like all the things emotionally, mentally, spiritually. So yeah, I am just in full agreement with what you said.
Yes, and it's interesting, when we're actually, it's not necessarily labeling us in these different examples that I said, but rather being able to have that level of self-awareness. Oh, I'm feeling in this space. How can I get out of it? Or how can I optimize it? Or how can I actually fall in love with my body, how it is, and I can respect my boundaries, but also create healthier habits that are going to encourage me to continue this loving journey with myself. So it's a much better approach than coming from a place where you are comparing yourself, or you're just seeing other people as they're doing, but not focusing on you, in your well-being, in your, like how you said it, the way you feel, because that's so much more impactful in the long run. So that's what I want to focus on that side, on the body. And then on the emotional side, so emotional intelligence is extremely important, and I tap into that, and I feel that emotional regulation is important. So, what is the main emotion that happens in your day-to-day life? So first, a positive emotion, right? Like there's always a positive emotion that is more, out there for you specifically. It might be love, it might be happiness, it might be gratitude, right? There's a feeling that is more intricate to your being, that needs to be explored a little bit deeper to generate that resilience over time. So anybody wants to share something that you guys are maybe grateful for, that you love, that you're doing right now currently, that can be the catalyst of your change for better? Yes, that's awesome. That's awesome, Ali. And I feel like gratitude is really the bridge to happiness, right? Whenever you open space to just be grateful for the small moments, even if they are super little, just like drinking water or having a roof over your head or having an opportunity to be here with you guys right now, it's just so much that could be explored, even the ability to open our eyes and to breathe, right? It's so simple, but we overcomplicate it sometimes. So just bringing that gratitude back as just like grounding mechanism to say, you know what, everything is okay. No. And sometimes these small little problems can become so big in our head, but when we come back to gratitude, when we come back to love, when we come back to those positive emotions, everything shifts, everything changes, everything becomes better. So I highly also encourage you guys to tap more into that. So thank you guys so much for your time today.
Yeah, thank you, Bella. This was so, so useful. And I just feel like refreshed and recharged by the information you shared because it felt holistic and touching on all parts of us as human beings, the mind, the body, the spirit, the emotions. So thank you for that. And if anyone has any last minute thoughts, go ahead and put them in the chat.
Yes.
Okay. Well, anything else you'd like to share, Bella, before we close out?
Yes, I actually thank you so much. I actually want to share three things for you guys to do as actionable steps because I don't want this to be the end. I don't want this to be just a session that you guys take this and whatever, right? I want you to take some action after this. So number one, for your mind, I want you to just establish one affirmation that you're gonna say every day to yourself from now until December 31st of something they want to accomplish, they want to elevate in your life, right? It could be emotional, it could be physical, it could be financial, right? Like I will, I am, I will create, whatever that is, that establish that expansive mindset for you. Just do it. Just write it right now as we are speaking, and just take notes for yourself to every single day. Write it again, as if it's, you know, a repetitive mechanism of you awakening that expansion mentality, because those thoughts are going to attract whatever you're trying to achieve. Number two, when it comes to your body, establish one tiny habit that you can do for yourself from now until December 31st as well. It could be drinking one glass of water when you wake up. It could be eating extra fruit every day. It could be something so small, but something for your body. Maybe sleeping better. Maybe moving your body a little bit extra, whatever that is. Establish a habit for your body that you feel like you deserve, and you're going to explore there more until the end of the year. The last one, on the emotional side, pay attention to your emotions. Pay attention to how you're feeling throughout the day, right? If it's more positive, how can you reinforce the positivity and continue to cultivate gratitude, love, compassion, all those positive emotions that actually are attractive? They are going to attract everything that you want. If you have more negative, right, how can you continue to shift more to that gratitude, the expansion, the love, everything that you want to shift inside of you? I highly encourage you guys doing those three little tiny things that truly are going to be influential in your life in all the aspects. And I'm so grateful to be here today with all of you. Thank you so much for your time. And that's it.
Thank you, Bella. So great having you.